Hello everyone. Today we're looking at this. This is a Motorola Microtac Micro Digital. This is one of a number of Microtacs that operate on both amps as well as TDMA. Certainly this one and the Digital Light, amongst others, and the Digital E-Light, which I also have in my other videos. What's interesting to note about this this phone, the Micro Digital, is that there's several different versions. I have here a boxed one, and normally when people say Micro Digital, this is what you would think. You'd get a Micro Digital in this sort of form, which is what most people think a Micro Digital looks like. This is the regular version. This one's actually brand spanking new. This one is you know, it matches with the serial number on the box and everything. So this one has never been used. Now, just to give you some sort of idea, what else you got in the box? You got your manual. You got a programming guide, and you got your usual wall charger, and you got your desktop cradle, which is just a standard Motorola Microtac cradle, and obviously that's the power pack to go with this. I ain't going to dwell too much on this because check out some of the other videos. We're going into detail about this. Now, what's interesting to note though is the phone. You'd normally get a battery in here as well. I just don't have one in this color. In this box, because I kind of borrowed this the battery from this box and used it on another phone and never kind of returned it in the original box. So, but what's interesting to note is that the Micro Digital came in various different variants. This is one of them, and we'll put that box to the side, just out of view. However, though, you will see that actually there's different variants of the Micro Digitals, and I purposely haven't put the desktop cradles in view because I'm going to be having a quite a large area to use. But these are also Micro Digitals. These are Micro Digitals in the same sort of form as this is a Micro Digital. It's just that these are digital edge versions. It's pretty much the same phone, same green dot matrix display as this, and I'll fire this up in a minute. It's just the buttons are black. That's pretty much the only difference. The teal shade is slightly different. I don't know if you can tell in the light, but fundamentally the same phone. Now, the keypad layout on this, and on both of these two actually as well, it resembles the Teletac, which is a real nasty, cheap, low-end budget phone that Motorola made mid to late 90s. Check out some of my other videos on one of them. But the keypad layout of this is the same as the Teletac. Some of the buttons are different, function in name and menu, but fundamentally you got recall, store and clear, and send and end on this side. The Teletacs kind of had the same thing, and I'm guessing, you know, it kind of put people off because at the time there wasn't many phones that operated on amps as well as TDMA, because amps was very well established analog. TDMA had just been launched, and the service area wasn't great to begin with. So I mean, these should have been flying off the shelves, and they just didn't really. And partly I think was because the keypad layout wasn't brilliant. Certainly that would throw me if I was used to having, you know, something like this, and this is an alpha. So certainly, you know, you had your function and name and menu at the bottom here, and you know, all the usual keys there. So if you're used to that, this is obviously going to throw you. And actually, if you navigate using this keypad, it's actually quite different. It feels kind of awkward. So I had to play with this just before doing this video, and actually you do realize just how awkward it is using a keypad in this sort of form. So what Cellular One actually did is they launched their Micro Digital, but in the alpha sort of version, in this sort of version, with this sort of keypad layout. And I'll show you what I mean, because it is quite interesting actually. I'm going to move these out the way just to show you what I mean. But quite fundamentally, this is another micro digital that I own. And this is, the box is a bit dusty, apologies, but this is another micro digital. This is the first one we looked at. And this is stock. This is how it came out. The serial number and the model number, which I will show you, are the same on the box as well as the phone. So of course you got the manual and all the other gubbins with it. But if you look closely, this phone doesn't actually resemble your conventional micro digital, which is what this is, your conventional micro digital. So and this is Cellular One's version of the micro digital. Now, to the untrained eye, even, you know, when I first started collecting cell phones, I just assumed this was an alpha because it looks exactly like an alpha. I mean, you put that next to an alpha. Let me get this out the way. You put this next to an alpha, and you know you ain't gonna know. I mean, ignore the fact that the keypad's white on this and the phone is grey. It's a two-tone phone, which means the back is darker than the front. This is just the first alpha I grabbed off the pile, but I mean, this is an alpha too. And you know, I mean, you put that next to each other, you wouldn't know the difference. I mean, the font on the keys is slightly different, but you know, certainly you wouldn't know. This one says digital network. That's the only hint you get. And digital cellular personal communicator. And that's the only hint you got, that this actually was operating on TDMA as well as amps, and this only operated on amps. Other than that, I mean, to the untrained eye, you wouldn't know. I mean, both have got volume buttons, and both are identical in pretty much every way, shape, and form. There ain't much difference at all. Now, I will go one further and show you, because you might still be having your doubts. So I will actually fire both of these up and illustrate what I mean when I say that one is actually a micro digital and the other one is an alpha. Now, true to my word, I'm going to show you the box of this one. Now, this one, I don't know if this will zoom in that far, but hopefully it will. The model number on this is, the serial number on this is 931GUNA106. Now, if we look at the micro digital box, which I had open, which I had earlier, if we compare that, the MSN, which is the same, is 931GUNA106. Now, and that says it's a micro digital. So this is definitely a micro digital. If you're still having doubts, bear with me. Let me put a good battery on, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. And this will, beyond a doubt, prove this is a micro digital, because micro digitals operated on TDMA, which is digital, as well as amps, which is analog. And what I'll do actually as well, this is an alpha, and I will power up both and show you the menu real quick, because this is the only surefire way that you know that one is an alpha and one is a micro digital. So you just hit menu, and this is what you get. So you get straight away slight subtle differences in the menu. So you got ringer, keypad, auto answer, lock, theft. Now this is where it gets a little different, you see. And again, this is where it gets very different, because the one on my right is an alpha, and it doesn't actually have the analog only function. If you think, let me get rid of that. Start again, function menu. First option is signal off. You scroll right through. You don't get an analog only option on the alpha, because the alpha is only analog. You can't set it to TDMA, which is digital. So on the phone on my right, it doesn't give you an option. It doesn't give you an option to go analog only. We've gone right through the menu, and it says signal off again. So this is definitely an alpha, and this is definitely a micro digital. and that's the surest way to tell. This has an additional digit in ND. I don't know what that stands for, but only the Micro Digitals have this as well. And of course, to activate analog only, you'd press clear, and then you get a 0 there, and that would now mean it's on. So this would only operate on amps in the current state it's in. You disable that again, you hit clear, and you get the underscore. Now that would only operate on TDMA as well as amps, because an underscore means that function's off, a 0 means it's on, or an O means it's on. And that's the definitive way of telling if your phone will operate on TDMA or not. Of course, TDMA you can't use these days anyway, but if you do have a couple of these and they all look the same, they're all same color, just the logo might be different, or the writing on it's different, the screen's the same, volume keys are the same, and you can't tell from the menu, from the serial number or the model number, the surefire way to tell is just to fire up the menu and go through it like I've just done. And this will have the same menu. I mean, this was the Micro Digital. If I whack a good battery on the true Micro Digital, you'll get to see that actually the menu's pretty much similar, and you'll get the same option on here to go analog only. So if we do function menu, you get signal, timer, scratch pad, ringer, keypad, auto answer, lock, theft alarm, turbo, emergency, number, preferred, call screen, analog only. There we go. So you press clear, you get that 0 come up to activate it. You press clear again, it disables it. So, and then you have the digit in ND as well, which I'm not too sure what that was for. I'll have to read up on that if we'll work out what it's for. And this will definitely prove beyond a doubt that this is a Micro Digital as well as this. So the Micro Digitals did exist in an alpha sort of shape like this, not just in the in this sort of shape, which is what most people actually think. You know, you ask a lot of people, they say, yeah, they got a Micro Digital and this is what they have in their collection. They don't actually realize that Micro Digitals are available in this form too. And they did the darker ones like this as well. So, well worth noting anyway. So, unfortunately, I can't place a test card with these because obviously these are amps and TDMA. So, that's not really anything I can show you with these. These are good for collecting and collecting again. You can't really do much, but it's nice to have a brand new one. I got a couple of these like this in this form, as well as the 2 digital edge ones, and I got a few of these as well in this sort of form. And you know, it's nice to have variants of each different model, certainly to have a play with and just compare the menus. If you're a bit of an anorak like me and you like collecting your cell phones, then it's worth making a note of, you know, the subtle differences anyway. So like I said, that's all I got to say about the Micro Digitals. Feel free to check out some of my other videos on some of the other phones I got in my collection. In particular, how to unlock some of the other phones. And please share, like, and subscribe. And thanks for watching.